The car accident wasn't supposed to kill me, but for 3 days, everyone thought it did. I'm Margaret Chen, 71 years old, and I spent 48 hours watching my family plan my funeral while simultaneously dividing up everything I owned. They thought I was in a coma, they thought I couldn't hear them, they were wrong about both. Subscribe now because this story about a mother's ultimate revenge will leave you absolutely speechless. It started on a Tuesday afternoon in November. I was driving home from my pottery class in Sacramento when a truck ran a red light and T-boned my Honda. The last thing I remember was the screech of metal and glass exploding around me. I woke up 3 hours later in ICU. At least part of me woke up. My eyes wouldn't open, my mouth wouldn't move, but I could hear everything, every beep of the machines, every footstep, every word. The doctors called it locked-in syndrome, a rare condition where you're conscious but completely paralyzed. They didn't know I could hear them. They thought I was in a deep coma, possibly brain dead. My son Kevin arrived first. I heard his shoes on the linoleum floor, heard him pull up a chair beside my bed. "Mom," he said, his voice shaky. "Mom, if you can hear me." Hope surged through me. My son, my firstborn, he'd know I was still here. Then my daughter Amanda walked in. "Is she going to make it?" Amanda asked. "Doctor said maybe 10% chance," Kevin replied. "Even if she does, she'll probably be a vegetable." A vegetable, that's what my son called me. "We need to talk about practical things," Amanda said, pulling up another chair. "I know it seems cold, but the house," Kevin interrupted. "We need to deal with the house." Not "I love you, Mom," not "please wake up," just the house. My house, the 4-bedroom Craftsman in East Sacramento that I'd bought with my late husband David 40 years ago, the house where I'd raised them, where their father had died. Where I'd lived alone for the past 8 years, maintaining it meticulously, keeping his workshop exactly as he'd left it. "Zillow estimates it at $780,000, Amanda said. "Maybe more if we stage it right. Split down the middle," Kevin agreed. "But we need to move fast, market's shifting." I lay there, trapped in my own body, listening to my children discuss selling my home before I was even declared dead. "What about her savings?" Amanda asked. "She's got about $40,000 in checking," Kevin said. "I checked when I had to pay her hospital deductible. When had he gotten access to my accounts?" "The retirement accounts?" Amanda pressed. "Another $60,000, maybe $70,000. She's been living pretty lean since Dad died." $60,000. I actually had $180,000 in retirement accounts. But I'd never told them about the investment account David had set up, the one that had been quietly growing for decades. "So we're looking at $850,000, $900,000 total," Amanda calculated. "$425,000 each. More if we can sell the house for asking," Kevin added. They sat there in silence for a moment. I heard Amanda's chair creak. "Do you feel bad?" she asked quietly. "Talking about this now, she'd understand," Kevin said. "She always wanted us taken care of." Taken care of. I'd spent the last 8 years taking care of them. $15,000 to Kevin when his business failed, $20,000 to Amanda for her divorce attorney, countless smaller amounts for emergencies that always seemed to happen. I'd taken care of them their entire lives, and now they were measuring my worth in dollars before my heart stopped beating. The doctor came in then, Dr. Sarah Wu, I'd learn later, young, sharp, efficient. "Mr. and Mrs. Morrison," she addressed them. "Kevin Chen," my son corrected. "This is my sister Amanda Morrison, we're her children." "Your mother's condition is critical," Dr. Wu said. "The impact caused severe brain trauma. We're seeing minimal brain activity. I need to discuss end-of-life decisions." "She has a DNR," Amanda said quickly. "Do not resuscitate." She made it very clear after Dad died that she didn't want machines keeping her alive. That was true. I did have a DNR, but I wasn't on life support. I was breathing on my own. My heart was beating on its own. I was alive, just trapped. "I'll pull her paperwork," Dr. Wu said. "In the meantime, we'll keep her comfortable." "I'm sorry." After she left, Kevin spoke. "We should call Aunt Lynn, let her know." "Not yet," Amanda said. "Lynn will want Mom to fight, to try every treatment. She'll drag this out." Lynn was my sister, my best friend. And they didn't want her involved because she'd actually care if I lived or died. "We'll wait," Kevin agreed. "See what happens in the next 24 hours. If you're already furious on my behalf, hit that subscribe button because this story is about to take a turn nobody saw coming. They left after that, told the nurse they'd be back in the morning. I heard them walk down the hallway, their voices fading, and I lay there, trapped, aware, terrified, but also planning because I'd heard something they didn't know I'd heard. And I wasn't going to let them get away with it. That night, Dr. Wu came back. She was doing her rounds, checking my vitals when something happened. My hand twitched just barely, just a finger, she saw it. "Mrs. Chen," she said softly, leaning close. "Can you hear me? If you can hear me, try to move your finger again." I concentrated with everything I had, pushed every ounce of willpower into that one finger. It moved. A tiny twitch, but it moved. "Oh my God," Dr. Wu breathed, "you're in there." She ran tests, lots of them. By morning, she'd confirmed it. I had locked-in syndrome. I was completely conscious, just paralyzed, not brain dead. Not even comatose, fully aware. "Mrs. Chen," she said, "I'm going to set up a communication system. Blink once for yes, twice for no. Can you do that?" I blinked once. "Your children are coming this morning." "Do you want me to tell them?" I blinked twice. "No," she paused. "Is there a reason you don't want them to know you're conscious?" I blinked once. "Yes." "Is it because of something they said?" Once. "Yes." Dr. Wu sat down beside my bed. "Mrs. Chen, I'm going to be very frank with you. Locked-in syndrome can sometimes improve with therapy, but it takes time. Months, maybe years. Your children have legal authority to make medical decisions for you. If they think you're brain dead," she didn't need to finish. I knew they'd pull the plug not because it was merciful but because $850,000 was waiting. "What do you want me to do?" Dr. Wu asked. Over the next hour, using blinks and eventually a letter board she rigged up, I told her everything. What I'd heard, what I suspected, what I wanted. Her face grew harder with each revelation. "Your children are planning to take you off life support for money," she said flatly. I've seen a lot in this job, but that's cold." I blinked once. "Yes. What do you want to happen?" I spelled it out letter by painstaking letter. "LETTHEMTHINKIMDEAD." Dr. Wu stared at me. "You want to fake your death?" Once. "Yes, that's Mrs. Chen, I could lose my license." I spelled PLEASE. She stood up, paced the room. "If I do this, and I'm not saying I will, how far do you want to take it?" "FUNERAL. You want to attend your own funeral?" "Yes." "To see what they do?" "Yes." She sat back down, looked at me for a long time. "My mother died 2 years ago, cancer. My brother showed up at her funeral drunk and asked me when we were selling her jewelry. I threw him out." She paused. "I'll help you. But we do this carefully, legally, or as close to legally as we can get." That afternoon, my condition deteriorated. Dr. Wu came out to tell Kevin and Amanda that my brain activity had dropped to almost nothing. That the machines were the only thing keeping me alive. They looked somber, said the right words, but I saw Amanda check her phone during the conversation, saw Kevin glance at his watch. "We should let her go," Kevin said. "She wouldn't want this." "I agree," Amanda added. "It's what she'd want." What I'd want. They had no idea what I wanted. Dr. Wu nodded slowly. "I'll begin the process. I'm very sorry for your loss." The next part was complicated. Dr. Wu couldn't actually declare me dead while I was alive, but she could move me to a private hospice facility, one owned by her mother's friend under extreme privacy protocols, and she could file paperwork that was, let's call it, creatively worded. By Wednesday evening, Margaret Chen was officially deceased. Cause: traumatic brain injury from car accident. The real Margaret Chen was in a private room at Sutter Hospice House, very much alive, working with a speech therapist to regain any muscle control I could. Kevin and Amanda didn't even come to view the body. Too traumatic, they said. They wanted to remember me as I was. The funeral was scheduled for Saturday at East Lawn Cemetery, 3 days away. 3 days for me to watch everything unfold. Dr. Wu set me up with a laptop and a webcam. My sister Lynn, who Dr. Wu called despite my children's wishes, had installed security cameras in my house years ago after a break-in in the neighborhood. I had the access codes. I watched my children enter my home Friday morning with a real estate agent. "As you can see, it needs updating," Amanda told the agent. "But the bones are good." The agent walked through, taking notes. "I'd suggest listing at $799,000. Should move fast in this market." "How fast?" Kevin asked. 2 weeks, maybe less. We'd like to list it today, Amanda said. The agent blinked. Today. But the funeral is tomorrow, don't you want to? Our mother would want us to be practical, Kevin interrupted. She was always about efficiency. Efficiency, is that what they called it? After the agent left, they started going through my things, not gently, not reverently, like they were at an estate sale. I want the china, Amanda said, picking up my grandmother's tea set. It's worth at least $2,000. I want Dad's tools, Kevin said, the vintage ones in the workshop. Those are worth more than china, so you get the jewelry, I get the tools. They were dividing my life into lots. Amanda opened my jewelry box. Mom's pearls, the ones Grandma gave her. Those are worth $5,000 easy, Kevin said. We should sell them. I want to keep them, Amanda said. Then I get Dad's watch collection. Those are worth $8,000. They weren't mourning, they were inventory. Subscribe now because you need to see what I did at that funeral. It's absolutely savage. Saturday arrived. Dr. Wu wheeled me into the cemetery in a wheelchair, positioned behind a large memorial wall where I could see but not be seen. My hair was covered with a scarf, sunglasses hiding my eyes. Anyone looking would think I was a mourner for someone else. The casket was beautiful, bronze with pearl handles. $8,000 Kevin had approved, spending my money on a box I wasn't even in. The casket was empty. Dr. Wu had arranged it with the funeral director, an old friend who owed her a favor and hated insurance fraud. They'd filled it with weights to make it feel occupied. People arrived, my book club friends, my pottery class. Lynn, my sister, crying genuine tears, my ex-coworkers from the library where I'd worked before retirement. Kevin and Amanda stood by the casket in black, perfect grieving children. Amanda dabbed at her eyes. Kevin's head was bowed. The service started. Pastor Morrison, no relation to Amanda's ex, spoke about my kindness, my generosity, about how I'd volunteered at the library literacy program, teaching immigrants to read English. About my love for my family, Kevin gave a eulogy. My mother was the strongest woman I ever knew. After Dad died, she could have fallen apart. Instead, she raised us, built a life, made a home. Everything I am is because of her. I watched his face. He almost seemed to believe it. Then Amanda spoke. Mom always put family first. She taught us that family takes care of family. That we stick together no matter what. Family takes care of family, unless family is a bank account, apparently. After the eulogies, people filed past the casket. Lynn placed a photo on top me and her at Lake Tahoe last summer. She was sobbing. My pottery teacher left one of my bowls, the first one I'd ever thrown successfully. Carol from book club left my copy of the Joy Luck Club that we discussed just 2 weeks ago. Real mourning, real loss. Real love. Then the crowd dispersed for the burial. Only immediate family stayed, just Kevin, Amanda, and Lynn, and they thought they were alone. Can you believe she left that bowl? Amanda muttered. Like Mom would want that at her funeral. She was always too sentimental, Kevin agreed. Lynn was standing a few feet away, staring at the casket. Aunt Lynn, Kevin called, we need to talk about the house. Lynn turned slowly. The house? We're selling it, Amanda said. The market is good. We can get $800,000, maybe more. You're selling it now? Lynn's voice was ice. Before she's even in the ground? It's practical, Kevin said. Mom would understand. Your mother loved that house, Lynn said quietly. Your father built that workshop with his own hands. She kept every room exactly as it was because it reminded her of him. And now she's gone, Amanda said. We can't live in the past. You mean you can't profit from the past without selling it? Lynn shot back. That's not fair, Kevin said. We're her children. You deserve nothing, Lynn interrupted. You visited her once every 2 months. You called when you needed money. She gave you both everything and you barely said thank you. She was our mother, Amanda said. She wanted to help. She wanted to be loved, Lynn said. Not used. This is none of your business, Kevin snapped. She was my sister. That makes it my business. They stood there, 3 adults arguing over a casket, and I'd heard enough. I wheeled myself around the memorial wall. All 3 of them turned, saw me, froze. Lynn's face went from shock to confusion to recognition to absolute joy in about 3 seconds. Maggie, she whispered. Kevin and Amanda just stared, their faces draining of color. Hello, I said. My voice was weak. I'd only regained speech 2 days ago, but it worked. Surprised to see me, Mom, Kevin's voice cracked, but we buried an empty casket, I finished, I know. I was there, Amanda sat down hard on a bench. This isn't possible, locked-in syndrome, I explained. I heard everything you said in the hospital about the house, about selling it fast. About the $425,000 each. Kevin's mouth opened and closed like a fish. I'm not dead, I continued. But you were so eager to believe I was, weren't you? So eager to start dividing everything up. We thought we were respecting your wishes, Amanda tried. My wishes? I laughed and it hurt. When did you ever care about my wishes? You couldn't even wait for the funeral to end before discussing the house sale. Lynn was crying and smiling at the same time. You crazy, beautiful woman, how did you? Dr. Wu helped, I said. She's seen too many families like mine. This is insane, Kevin said, finding his voice. You faked your own death, that's illegal, that's wrong, I cut him off. Like planning to sell your mother's house before her body is cold. Like checking your phone during her supposed final moments, like stealing from her investment accounts. Kevin went white. I don't know what you're talking about. The $40,000 you accessed from my checking account, I said. I only had $15,000 in that account, but you told Amanda $40,000. Where did the other $25,000 come from, Kevin? He didn't answer. From my investment account, I continued. The one you found the password for, the one you've been taking from for 6 months. That's a lie, he said. Bank records don't lie, I replied, and I had my lawyer pull them while I was dead. Amanda found her voice. Even if that's true, even if Kevin took money, you can't fake your death. You'll be in trouble. The doctors who helped you will be fine, I said. Because I wasn't legally dead, my heart never stopped. Dr. Wu never falsified a death certificate. She moved me to hospice care under privacy protocols and let you assume I'd died. Your assumptions aren't her responsibility. I looked at both of them, my children. The babies I'd held, the toddlers I'd chased, the teenagers I'd worried over. I gave you everything, I said quietly. Your father and I sacrificed everything to give you good lives. When he died, I gave you even more. And you repaid me by measuring my worth in real estate values. Mom, please, Amanda started. I attended my own funeral, I interrupted. I watched real mourning from people who actually cared about me. And I watched you two discuss property values over my casket. Lynn walked over and took my hand. What do you want to do, Maggie? I want them to leave, I said. The house is mine, the accounts are mine. And I'm removing both of them from my will. You can't do that, Kevin said. Watch me. If this story has you on the edge of your seat, hit subscribe because the ending is even better than you think. I moved in with Lynn after that. Spent 6 months in physical therapy. Locked-in syndrome doesn't always improve, but I was lucky. I regained most of my mobility, most of my speech. The house sold for $815,000. I gave half to Lynn for taking care of me. The rest went into a trust for my future care. Kevin never apologized. He hired a lawyer, tried to contest the will, claimed I was mentally incompetent when I changed it. The judge took one look at the security footage of him and Amanda at my house, heard the hospital recordings Dr. Wu had legally made, and threw the case out. Amanda called once, 6 months later, said she was sorry. Said she'd been stressed about money, made bad choices. Said she loved me. I told her I believed the first 2 parts. I'm 72 now. I live in a small condo near Lynn. I take pottery classes. I volunteer at the library. I have coffee with friends who visited my funeral and cried real tears. Sometimes I see my grandchildren. Amanda's daughter comes to visit once a month. She's 20 now, studying to be a nurse. She knows what her mother did. She chose differently. Kevin's son reached out last year, said he'd heard about everything, wanted to apologize for his father. I told him he didn't owe me apologies for his father's choices. But I never saw Kevin or Amanda again. Some bridges once burned can't be rebuilt. People ask me if I regret it. Faking my death, destroying my relationship with my children, putting everyone through that trauma. The answer is no. Because I needed to know, I needed to see who they really were when they thought I couldn't see. And I needed them to know that I saw. Would I have preferred to be wrong, to discover that my children actually loved me more than my bank account? Of course, but I wasn't wrong. And knowing the truth, even when it's ugly, is better than living a beautiful lie. Last week, I attended a real funeral. My friend Helen from book club. The entire funeral, her children talked about her stories, her laugh, her love of birds. They cried real tears. They hugged each other. They never once mentioned her house. That's the difference. That's what real love looks like. I'm 72 years old. I survived a car accident, locked-in syndrome, and my own funeral. I discovered my children's true nature and saved myself from a lifetime of being used. And you know what? I've never been happier. Thank you for watching my story. If it resonated with you, please subscribe and share. Drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from and what you thought about Margaret's choice. Was she too harsh, or did she do exactly what she needed to do? Remember, you can't choose your family, but you can choose what you'll accept from them. You can set boundaries, you can walk away, even from people you've loved your whole life, because sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the truth, even when it breaks your heart. Until next time, this is Margaret reminding you that you're never too old to stand up for yourself, and you're never too old to start fresh. God bless, and don't let anyone treat you like an ATM with a heartbeat.